insurrection, sedition. Until last week, most Americans thought those were words from a long ago, bygone era, but they were brought vividly. Rioters used military-style tactics. Those rioters appeared to use methods like hand signals to communicate. Wednesday, President Trump encouraged his followers to assault the U.S. Capitol. We're going to walk down and I'll be there with you. They had military training.
Hi, I'm Dr. Matt B, and welcome back to your Emotional Minutes. And today we're actually talking about stress or anxiety that people can experience in response to political events or just everyday political differences. Now, there are some times in history where there's great moments of political upheaval, and other times where people just feel stressed about it, just general distress. Now, this is being filmed shortly after a group of individuals stormed the Capitol in January of 2021. And a lot of people are feeling really anxious or worried or concerned about things right now in the American political system, but then also in world politics in general. And in these sorts of times, really due to evolutionary mechanisms of survival in terms of how humans are built, our attention can really focus or fixate on these sorts of things and really contribute to a lot of that general distress. The first thing that can be pretty helpful is to really try to seek social support from other individuals when you feel that sort of stress or worry or concern about these things. But you do want to try to seek those from trusted sources of support, people you can talk to about things. Maybe without judgment. And then also when you're talking is really focusing on how you're feeling as opposed to maybe being angry at one side of the political spectrum versus the other or angry at a certain group of people. But again, just focusing on what you feel in general. The second thing that can be really helpful is something that we've talked about a lot on Emotional Minutes, which is basically what we call behavioral activation, which is really trying to build things into your day that are things, behaviors, activities that are really sort of meaningful for you, things that you enjoy doing. So maybe that's going out and going on a hike, or maybe that's doing something in the house like crafts or playing a musical instrument. But really kind of finding those things to do can help focus your attention away from a lot of that stress you're experiencing and focus your attention away from the events that are occurring. And another thing you can do concerns sense of control. Now, a lot of times people will experience anxiety or worry or stress about things to do with politics, say election results, or large-scale events, political protests, things like that, or even just arguments with family members over politics. And a lot of that stress or anxiety can actually be linked to a lack of control you might feel over those events or over the process. And a couple of ways you can go about this is to really seek perspective and almost kind of question your own thoughts. Because a lot of times thoughts can be sort of really pessimistic or catastrophic over some of those events, or really kind of fixated or believing that those are going to maybe lead to sort of the downfall of our system or be really bad in the long run. So one thing is to really kind of check in with your thoughts and notice what you're thinking, and then also finding ways to kind of challenge or approach those thoughts differently, sort of questioning them. Is this really going to happen in the worst way possible? And then really, if you have time or you have the ability, is to really engage in the electoral process as much as you can. Maybe that concerns writing your congressman or congresswoman. Maybe that concerns volunteering for a political group that's helping to raise awareness about a certain political issue that you care about. All of those things can really help people feel that they have more control and they're more engaged in the system. And the last thing that I'll say that can be really helpful is actually really try to limit your exposure to the news or to political news or political articles, things like that you might read. Because really what can happen is when you're sort of fixated on that stuff, people are really engaging more and more in intaking that information. But interestingly enough, that sort of leads us to focus more and more on those things and sort of be more engaged in those negative or catastrophic thoughts. And that increases our anxiety or our stress about those things. And I've got a couple friends in the news industry, and they're not going to like me saying this, but one of the things that can be really good is to, so to speak, or literally turn it off. So, is really trying to limit your engagement in a lot of those news stories or political reports or news channels, watching news pundits, things like that. And really kind of limiting to just a few minutes a day. And hopefully that was helpful today in talking about anxiety or stress or worry about politics or political events. And again, I'm Dr. Matt B. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to get updates. And we will see you next time on Emotional Minutes.